Hey guys, welcome back. We have an overdue warning here, an additional warning on top of the previous two warnings. We got GameStop, then they're buying the fake slabs and they're selling the fake slabs, and I hope that everyone that receives these fake slabs realizes it. That's the dangerous thing here. That's the dangerous part here. GameStop employees didn't realize it. The stuff ships out from the GameStop. It goes to a customer. That customer may or may not know that they received a fake card, a fake graded card. So what we have here is two incidences, incidences, where we have the Moonbryon, fake Moonbryons, two different cert numbers. They got sent out, one there and another one right there. It's a lot of money. It is a ton of money. If somebody's like, oh, I'm going to buy my grandchild a nice little PSA 10 Moonbryon, or whatever it might be that's fake, and these are obviously fake. If somebody, knows what they're looking at, I don't expect every GameStop employee to be an expert at being able to identify PSA cases that are real or fake. Same goes with anyone that's buying cards on GameStop. Now, there are people that buy cards on GameStop. Tap in the Discord. He's buying stuff on GameStop. You can find some pretty good deals on stuff that has suddenly skyrocketed in price because they don't, their pricing might not keep up to that. So it might be priced lower than what it is at current market value. That kind of thing. So maybe it makes sense. Little bit of a red flag immediately whenever you see something that's high-end, like something high-end PSA 10, probably, not saying it can't happen, but there's a good chance it's not a good idea to be dumping that stuff at GameStop. People will do it at some point or time, but it shouldn't be the typical thing. It is the first thing to be worried about. The first thing to be concerned about. I guess more concerning is the fact that GameStop seemingly has not fixed this issue for anyone involved. PSA has been made aware. GameStop has been made aware. It is an absolute struggle. My condolences to the people that receive these fake cards, whether it's this fake Moonbryon or this fake Moonbryon, or the cards that we're going to take a look at today. GameStop has been a hassle. You call them. They say they're going to call you back. You try to get through to somebody. You try to explain, hey, I just spent $1,400 on a fake card. Can you please refund me? So far, to my knowledge, no one has been made right from this situation. It looks like it's all coming from one individual who was scamming GameStop. But if GameStop has to take that risk, they need to know, hey, we're gonna get ripped off. We need to provide additional training. We need to provide additional measures, and it's not safe for the end consumer. The end consumer that's not informed, that doesn't know the difference here. Not safe for them to be shopping on GameStop for the expensive stuff, at least. I guess the lesser stuff, the less expensive stuff, probably less likely to be a subject to these attacks. We have the first example here, the first new example. So it seems like our perpetrator, our Georgia perpetrator here, he not only did he get fake Moonbryons when he was shopping on the old sketchy market. The sketchy market that, yes, and anyone that's trying to defend proxies, this is what happens with the proxies. And proxies is typically in reference to something. If you don't have the cards yet, or if something's really expensive, you have a fake version of it. They're going to call these proxies. These are counterfeits. These are meant to deceive people. Otherwise, they wouldn't look so damn close to the real thing. Now, to the trained eye, to the trained individual, this is going to be pretty dang obvious. And what we can do here, I guess another big issue with the GameStop site is the fact that they're not taking pictures of the cards. They're not doing their own scans. They're just going to pull it from the PSA website. And the one on the PSA website is going to be the real thing. So this is a real thing. It hasn't been deactivated yet. I made sure PSA knew about this. I think they were contacted by both the person who bought this from GameStop and through me. Don't know why they haven't deactivated the cert yet. I kind of disagree with them deactivating the cert to begin with and hiding the image. I think deactivating and warning, hey, potential counterfeits, showing the real image, showing what the fakes might look like on their website is the better way to go about it. I don't know if that's too much work. That's too much expectation coming from PSA. But I guess at least if it's deactivated, GameStop is going to look up the cert. They're going to say, oh, you know what? This might be a counterfeit, and then they probably don't buy it. So at least there's that. Why this hasn't happened yet? My prediction. Sad to say it. I think that there's more of these that were sold to other GameStops, and we'll take a look at why that is. So here's what you're buying when you take a look at the site or you look at the PSA cert number, and here is what was traded into the store. And I know you guys, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you can probably identify the fact that this is a fake card. The weird glow coming off of it is red flag number 1. The fact that the centering looks like it was cut out with a pair of scissors. And these cases, yes, they're pretty decent. But to the trained eye, if you're looking at this stuff, you know to look at the corners. You know to see that if this is curved, if this is kind of tapered off, and it's not crispy, clean, sharp, the textures, the label itself has this weird glittery crap going on in the PSA logo that isn't usual. They do have like a fake fingerprint printed or whatever there. Not good. The card itself is kind of the biggest giveaway here. If you saw this thing from across the room, and this is where I say, hey, if somebody's selling, like who is selling a PSA 10 Gyarados Gold Star to GameStop? I think maybe there's a situation where GameStop is paying too much money for it. Maybe there's a situation where somebody owns this card. Typically, I think somebody that owns something like this, they probably don't need the money enough to be going to a GameStop and dumping this shit. Now, here's a little bit of a better look at the logo, all the security features and stuff like that. There's a lot of telling signs. Usually the PSA at the bottom, the 21 stuff it's basically a fake copy of the PSA case, similar to, if not the same ones that were used by Zhao, the guy that was reslabbing real cards with labels that he cracked from 10s. Here we go, little looky poo at the back, and it looks like if you don't do a comparison, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're busy, if you're a GameStop employee, you don't know a whole lot, you don't grade stuff, you don't look at stuff, you're not super familiar, or you're just not paying attention, like, this could pass. I understand how people fall for this. Now, when it's that much money involved in an individual card, you got to be careful, whether it's you buying for the company you're working for or it's you buying for yourself. Man, it's just gross that like this hasn't been solved yet. We're going to do our best to find out who it is, who's behind it. I got some leads on that. Stay tuned for a future update. I just wanted to make sure that people are aware that there are more cards that are being pumped into the system, pumped out, that are counterfeit. It's making it through. And I think like the biggest thing is just if GameStop can't authenticate this stuff, like they need to be taking ID. They need, and to my knowledge, they need to be identifying, taking a photo of, having photo ID present of the people that are turning this stuff in. Maybe they have the ability to get that money back. And if it's some low-life criminal that doesn't have the money for them to retrieve back from them, I'm not sure exactly. It's fraud, trying to trade this stuff in. This person clearly has done it with at least 4 of these slabs, all the same fake slabs. You can probably guess that the intent is there to deceive GameStop, to make a quick buck. And people might think, oh, who cares? To rip off the GameStop. They're a big company. They can totally afford it. Well, guess what? Now people are getting screwed because of it. And if they weren't even getting screwed because of that, it's still going to cost everyone more money for this idiot to make a quick buck, to grift off the incompetence of the GameStop system. I called it out. Called it when it happened. Knew it was going to happen. It was only a matter of time. And I think I was just mostly disappointed in the fact that GameStop is not taking action and righting this wrong for the customers, looking into anything else that was submitted by that person and fixing the issue. So we have this one here. We have another instance where this bad boy is coming from Fayetteville, GA, which is where the, I guess there's three cards. One of the Moonbryons that we saw previously, this card, and the one that we're about to take a look at. But before we take a look at the 4th fake card that has been traded in by IG Baller Extreme, we're going to take a look at the link tree. Thank you for using the link tree, guys. Troll and Toad, Securus Card Shop, Card Market, Bye. 10% off your first purchase. We got Collector app for tracking your collection. There's a bunch of discount codes here for the stuff I recommend. There's a bunch of stuff that you can click before you shop to support the channel. Rather than paying me money, rather than sending me money, rather than sending a super chat or whatever the hell, just click on this stuff and shop for the things you're going to buy anyway. Best way to support the channel. Now, the second one here, it was active at one point in time. It is now deactivated. This is what it looks like when it's deactivated. Oopsie doopsie, fake card. And this is the card in question. We have the Karen's Umbreon. Now, again, the Gyarados, the one of the two Moonbreons, and this Karen's Umbreon all going to Fayetteville. All probably dumped by the same person. The second store that we're taking a look at may or may not have another Gyarados, may or may not have another Karen's Umbreon. If I had to guess, he probably had multiple copies of the other stuff, or maybe he got away with it. Maybe he's going to strike again. I really hope that all of the GameStops, especially the ones in this area, have been made aware. Some sort of notice that has gone out to say, like, hey, G-Baller Extreme here, here's what he looks like. He's going to come in. He's going to come in with some very expensive fake slabs. He's going to try to trick you. Call the cops. I don't know. This is some dumb shit, and I hope that they are prosecuted for doing so. There's no excuse. You shouldn't be ripping anyone off, whether it's GameStop or whether it's a customer. And I'm sure this guy is probably also doing some other stuff. At least from what I hear, if it's the person that it might be, the suspect that it might be, sounds like he might have been doing this to people as well. Not a surprise. If you lack morals in one place, you probably lack them elsewhere. And people that trust, like if somebody's scamming anything, why are you doing business with them? Like, I've seen it before. I've seen it on the channel here. Like, oh yeah, but he hasn't scammed me. What the fuck? It's only a matter of time. Scammer's gonna scam. All right, so we have the same corners, we have the same blemishes, the same sort of fake case, the texture stuff, the fake PSA. Sparkle dog, whatever you want to call this, little insignia on the top. Lots of signs that this is a fake slab. And then not to mention the fact that if you look at images, this is probably just a copy of a known example. Typically with the fake cards, they take the TCG player scan. Those are pretty clean. They don't have a watermark on them or anything like that. And they just print that onto a foil. Now, you had to be careful, even if the back looks real. On a card, you got to make sure the front is real as well, because they could print onto a real back, they could wipe a hollow and print onto that. If it looks sketchy in any way on the front, you got to be careful. All right, so same thing, same fake slab, same person, allegedly, probably, in my opinion, that has been dumping all of these, and hopefully they get caught, and hopefully GameStop takes action against them. But not only that, hopefully GameStop gets off their ass and fixes this for the people that got ripped off. Like, they essentially are allowing the scam to happen by having scans. They're not even giving people a chance to find out that these are fake until they receive them, which is the scary part. I don't have faith that everyone that's buying off GameStop knows how to identify that these are fake. So if you bought stuff from GameStop, especially on the high end, check your stuff. Check the tracking. The return address that's on there is like GameStop's facility or whatever, where stuff should be sent to and double verified. But you got to check the tracking to find out where it came from. If it was in Georgia, please reach out to me if you see anything suspicious. If you know anyone that was buying high end on the GameStop website, get them to check. Do what you can, spread the word. Because I can only imagine like someone finding out like years from now that they've been sitting on a fake Moonbreon or Karen's Umbreon or whatever it might be for years and years. Gross. I can't imagine. This is the kind of stuff too where if somebody's just like, oh, I really need this card, I'm gonna spend $1,500 on it, I'm gonna spend $2,000 on it, whatever it might be, and they just get crushed. If GameStop does nothing, or if enough time passes that GameStop decides, hey, I don't have to do anything, and if enough time passes where they can't do a chargeback, it's wild to me that it's a scenario where people need to consider basically just nuking their GameStop account, whether they have pre-orders currently, whether they have points, whether they have a membership or anything like that, just based on the fact that there's a lack of action going on from GameStop. I don't get it. Like, if you want to be a card store, if you want to push out this program, you need to have people making sure that fraud doesn't happen, and you haven't been making sure that fraud doesn't happen. Now, scary part is we have 3 of these slabs from one GameStop. The chances are he went to other GameStops in the area. We have a whole bunch of them right there within a driving distance, within even in between and in around the 2 GameStops that got duped. which is scary to see, scary to say. And they all need to be. If that's the thing too, is if GameStop still hasn't done anything about it in terms of compensating the customers that got scammed, what do you think did they call all the Star Wars to make sure they're not still getting scammed? I don't know if they are. Here are the two locations that are in question, and again, there's all kinds of other GameStops in that area. This is going to be a scenario where somebody's going to go in, they're going to try to trade in their slabs, they're going to be like, ooh, I did it. If the GameStop employee is knowledgeable enough to recognize that it is fake, if the cert comes up deactivated, if they're dumb enough to not check that before they go in to try and scam the GameStop, they're going to be like, oh, I didn't know, oh no, I got scammed. I just bought this from Jimmy John down the street. He totally scammed me. Damn it. That kind of thing. So it was predictable. It was bound to happen. Where there's money, there's gonna be grifts. Where there's easy dupable areas, it's gonna happen. But for the time being, hopefully GameStop makes it right. Hopefully people, I mean, you're still gonna have to check this stuff. I think even though it provides it requires an extra step, I think that they need to be sending this stuff to a facility where it gets all shipped out of and sold out of, rather than having the individual stores. So it is an extra shipping step, maybe once a week, once a month, whatever. The GameStop opens their vault of cards that were traded in. They send it all in to the main facility. Someone with the know-how, someone that's primary purpose is to verify that these things are real. It goes through them, and like mistakes can still happen there. It doesn't matter how many steps are involved, but it would at least reduce the chance of customers getting burned for GameStop's incompetence in this scenario. And one greedy MFer that is pumping the fakes through them. Thanks for tuning in. Warn anyone if you know anyone. Warn them about this stuff. Join the Discord. Know what you're looking for. If you're buying expensive cards, doesn't matter where it's from. eBay. Anywhere. GameStop. Whatever it might be. A back alley with Jimmy John, although I would recommend avoiding that if you can. Make sure you know what you're looking at. Make sure you know what the fakes look like if you're buying anything that is expensive, and expensive relative to you. If it's an amount of money that you can't lose, that is going to be significant in losing, you got to be extra careful, be extra diligent, take the time to learn what you're looking at. Stay safe. Look out for each other out there. Love you guys. See you next time. Bye.